Kofi.
I was like, Kofi sleeping on me. Yeah, we're talking about how culture plays a role in generational trauma. The stories y'all have.
Most of our people have certain beliefs on certain things. Like, my man said, just with the spirituality and like witches and, Yeah, me too. I don't know. I really don't get the idea of it per se. I understand, we all have our things going on and we've seen things and experienced things. But for me, I've never seen one with my eye. So if I don't see it,
don't believe it.
I'm not.
How long were you in Ghana?
I was in Ghana for 3 years.
So, okay.
I didn't see nobody flying no brooms.
Were you up at night time?
I was up at night. And trust me, I was a bad kid. And everything that they said you shouldn't do, trust me, I was in the mirror saying the things, being outside, blowing whistle, just to see. And I was ready to run too. I had my slippers in my hand, ready to go, but nothing happened. And, and watching these things and seeing it happen and testing, and it's like, okay, I feel like you just don't want me to be outside late at night.
Yeah.
I do believe there's something like that, but
it's all quick one answer story.
Yeah, I'm just against the fact that they blame their laziness and everything onto it. Some things are just common sense. You have exams tomorrow. Yeah. You have to prepare for it. You have to study and go in for the exams. But you don't study, you go in, you fail, and you come back and you're like, my grandmother is a witch. And so it's some things are just common sense, because I believe water can get cold and can get hot. I believe there is God. So I believe there is evil,
Yeah.
But don't let it get into your head. Just do you and work hard. And there's always a success. Not always, but there is success after you working hard. So you don't have to just blame on somebody who cannot even afford to eat and they're thinking they are rich or whatever. Yeah.
Since we're talking about culture, we're all African here. I mean, I feel like
I'm not African, please.
Okay, meteor. One huge generational trauma that we probably have is just the abuse of just being whipped as a kid in school.
Yes.
Type shit.
You think it's abusive?
Yes, okay.
In a way, it shapes us.
And there's discipline and there's abuse, of course. But that, everybody's different. So some people, obviously, it was like a sign of discipline for them. But there's a lot of people that now they have that trauma that, they passed on from generation. They feel like they have to discipline their kids by hitting them.
I think,
and that's not just an African thing.
I think
too.
that is where you have to learn as a parent. There are some things that used to work back then, but it doesn't work today.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying. Like, that is the trauma. Like, some parents did not learn that.
Yeah. It's still working.
Yeah, it's still working because they
primary schools they be lashing students.
Because they lashed me as a kid, I'm gonna lash my kid for no reason.
And people don't understand the deep psychological reasoning that the effects that it causes.
Yeah.
Abusing your kids and just beating them out the blue. It create people pleasers.
Yeah,
that's for one. And also, trauma or abuse in a home create a lot of negative things. It create liars, people that steal, people that There's a many times that I had to lie to not get beat, and that become to shape us. And that's true. To a certain extent, it make us become men and women become. Smart and whatever, that's cool. But the back end of it, back end is the worst part of it.
Yeah. Wait, let me share this experience with you guys. I remember when I was young, I was good when it comes to school and everything. But later on, I realized that I don't like school. I don't love to learn. Yeah. So when I grew up, right, and I was trying to assess myself, what changed, and I realized. When I was young, when I was little, anytime that the whole family meets to have a conversation and talk, and I try to speak, one of my bigger brothers is going to be like, hey, go and learn. Yeah. Just lock me in a room to learn. Yeah. So in a way, it felt like a punishment to me because it was taking the fun and the experience out of me. Yeah. So I never liked to learn from there. And it wasn't one time. It happens. Hey, go and learn. So anytime we all having fun talking about something, hey, go and learn. So that learning became punishment to me. Yeah. So I stopped learning until I grew up and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Then after I started paying my own fees, I realized if I'm paying it, then I have to
learn.
Yeah. So it's like most of the things you don't even recognize it until you sit down, you ask yourself and you're like, why why can't I do this? What's wrong with me?
Kobe, did you have any?
Yeah. So
I just don't think that's healthy.
No, that's not healthy at all. And
yeah,
it's so bad in a way. Like my dad, right? Every time we get from school, bring out your books. Let's see what you did. Study. When I came to the States and I realized my dad's not here.
Ooh, freedom.
There's no way you're gonna tell me who gonna tell me.
I'm scared of guys like you, bro.
Like in a way,
got some freedom. You outside,
you know, and you also see it in a lot of like kids that come to get away from the house and come on campus to go to school.
Yeah,
to be completely a different person from what they are at home.
Yeah,
when they,
most of the kids who want to live on campus just want to escape.
They want to be outside of that.
They have freedom now.
Yeah. And like we said, like of course discipline is important, but also every child is different. Yeah. Like my mom never had to really put her hands on me for me to be the way that I am now. If it wasn't for my teachers, like my mom would have never, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like every child is different. So like instead of trying to figure your child out to see what is the best way to discipline them, because of the generational trauma, they just go straight to, hey, I'm beating you up.
They never get
I'm
to
whipping you. I don't care.
The more you beat me, the more I go astray. Like, I don't care. Yeah, I prefer you just come down, talk to me, make me feel like I'm a fool. Like smart talk me, let me feel like you making a lot of sense.
Yeah, you know, some kids need the whooping, but not every kid needs a whooping.
It creates secretive kids and whatnot.
For me,
you
back in
the whipping, bro.
Back in primary school, I was forced to write to my right hand. Although I was left, I was
which makes no sense.
At home, my mom would teach me how to write to my left because I was naturally left, eating with my left hand, doing everything with my left hand. And then when I go to school, they lash me for writing with my left hand. They wouldn't teach me how to write with my left hand. They'll force me to, write with my right hand. And as they're using that force and that lashes and all of that, that just sagged my brain to always write with my right hand. So when I go home,
you pick up a pen with your left, you're even shaking.
You get scared.
So when I go home and my mom is trying to teach me how to write with my left, I just tell her no. The teacher will lash me if I go home. If I go to school,
there's no healthy balance at school and at home. There's no healthy balance.
Like
there's no
and she got mad, went to the school, cussed them all out. But in the long run, I can say I can write to my left 30%, and I can write with my right 70%.
See that trauma shaped you.
Yes, it just fucked up my whole hand movement. Stuff.
Imagine if there was a healthy balance, you'd be able to do
both. Really,
both at a good.
And that is incredible. Not many people can do both.
Yeah, so I can write to my left, I can write with my right, but with my left hand, it looks like a kid's writing. I swear to God, literally like a kid's writing.
Let me ask this: how has understanding generational trauma helped you in your own healing journey?
Sorry, say that one more time.
How has understanding generational trauma helped you in your own healing journey?
I am nothing like my father.
Facts.
A better person for it.
Yeah, I agree with what he's saying. Exactly that. So also, that's perfectly cool. You're right.
I was gonna build onto it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? No, my fault. Go. No. I thought he closed
that's it.
I thought he closed it for you.
Full stop. Period.
I thought he closed it for you.
Like if I leave it right there, that was an asshole.
No. Well, we do have one comment from Max, and then we can go to Doe. He said, "We no go figure anything beyond what you mean. You go collect simple. What's a season." Yeah. For us to understand, he's just saying, if you're stupid, you should get beat. Yeah. That's simple.
Max Weber.
No.
Max Weber, do you have some generational trauma?
Yeah.
Does he need a mic or something?
Yeah.
Come ahead, come spill your tea, man.
Go ahead, though.
There should be a reinforcement of the healthy part of it. Just not punish what you think is negative all the time. No, like if a child is good at something, why not help him be good at that and also what you want him to be good at? Yeah. Let there be a balance.
And one thing with our people, they don't understand God-given talent.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. When they see you,
they don't believe in that.
They don't understand that. And that is the most beautiful thing ever.
There's all they know is go to school, take pen and paper, bruh.
If you cannot show a degree, get out my face.
My house.
Or if you're not gonna show a degree, I need some bread and I need to see you doing. There's no in between. It's either you're complete or you're not. Yeah. You know, there's no.
And that's sad because there's so many people in our world that they have a God-given talent, but they can't show it. They can't showcase it at all. They would be famous today.
Literally, bro. Those small kids. When I'm back in Ghana, when I come back from school, I just see them playing soccer. Like this one special kid. Oh, he was special. Like nigga's really good, but like they don't want to push him with that talent.
Yeah, we got Messi in the backyard, and
literally, so it's all wasted.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Africa, whatever thing that you see online is just like 20% of it.
Yeah,
we're not able to like actually make it happen and be what it's supposed to be. So, were you a musician back in Africa?
Hell no.
No, I never thought about being a musician because they're gonna beat your ass. Like you have to read your books, you have to get it done. But when I came to the US, I'm like, oh, bro,
a little baby making what 25 and fucking.
And he's not even a great rapper,
bro.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, we have a comment from Michael. Obviously, he said, "If you be Kubala boy, them go lash you pairs, and like if you're a bad boy, you're gonna lash you, which is fine."
And it's not even really bad boy biasa.
Like maybe you need to understand.
I was, but like nobody say.
Acting that bad. Like,
don't be say bad, but let's climbing trees and stealing coconuts.
There's a lot with that, right? There's a lot of
layers,
psychological things with that.
Yeah.
Even climbing in trees and jumping around, and they have to beat you to sit down. Ever heard of autism?
You know, ever heard of like, I just want to breathe like
those don't exist in Africa.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
You climbing trees is you rehearsing to climb walls. So next time you end up stealing somebody. So yeah, they have to beat your ass.
Bro, let me tell you, I had a conversation with my dad. I didn't see him in like a year and a half.
Damn.
So I wanted to,
my fault, bro.
No. It's cool. But like, I wanted to go check up on him, right? But get the laughs.
He said, "Damn, bro."
He did that Kevin Hart. Damn, like
I haven't seen my daddy 8 years, so you good, bro?
No, I would have got the same thing.
8 years,
yeah. Shit. But no, like in that gap, he forgets that he raised kids. Like you raised me to be a good man in the future. You know, be a good man towards my peers, towards women, towards other men, towards people in general, and go about life a certain way, follow in your footsteps at least. So when I'm being sarcastic, why are you assuming that I'm meaning every word that I say? What I mean by that is, it took him like 5 minutes to answer the door. When I knocked on the door to go see him that night. I'm like, why did it take you so long? You thought I was a gangster or something? So now you're a gangster.
Oh my gosh.
They
don't come shoot me.
They can't really take that kind of joke. They don't know how to process it for real.
Not at all.
That's why you don't have that kind of rapport with them.
That relationship is not there.
It's hard. That's what it's really hard.
So if I bring some brand new Kevin Hart jokes around you, now you think
you're a dad.
I'm not a stand-up comedian. I'm a gangbanger who means what he says.
Yeah, bro.
Like your dad is used to Lewin, not Kevin Hart.
I know.
You have to be careful.
Damn, nigga, you've seen Denzel Washington movies,
and you was the one that put me on to that.
Exactly, and now you think I'm fucking crazy.
What?
I would say that one way that understanding generational trauma has helped me in my own healing journey is like, I feel like I do understand my parents a little bit more because at the end of the day, like I said in the beginning, they didn't have the resources that we had. You know what I mean? Like they didn't recognize I'm literally doing the same exact thing that my parents did to my children. You know, so you kind of have to, it's helped me have that understanding of they just don't know that it's trauma. You know, this is the norm for them. And obviously, like you would think they're adults, like they should have a little bit more wisdom, and some do. Like I feel like my mom has definitely recognized and grown a lot since we've been kids. But some don't. Like some just don't recognize that. I'm literally doing the same thing. Like I'm continuing the pattern and I need to stop.
Yeah, it's called Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. They stop. They don't know.
It kind of like you fall in love with the abuse. So you become that in a way.
It comes naturally.
And when they were kids, they probably thought, I hate this. I don't want to do the same thing. But then they grow up and they just keep doing the same thing. You know?
It's just like when you're being raised up by somebody who is quick-tempered.
Yeah.
You end up being quick-tempered because you think that is the only way
to get things done.
Get things done. So it's like you one day gonna have kids, then like you know, you grow up to it, but it's like you have to actually sit down, assess yourself. Just like I was saying before, everything has limit, you know. So there's nothing wrong with you being you, But when you realize that you above the limit, then that means you exceeding the actual normal point. Then you have to come back.
Let's go right into it. So let's talk about some ways of trying to break the cycle of generational trauma.
It's you
through therapy, bro.
Yeah, it's you actually accepting that. Oh, okay, I'm doing this, or this is me. You know, because most people, they just argue with yourself and fight themselves. Like, no, I'm not like him. No, I'm not like them. I'm different. Yeah, but meanwhile, you're doing the same thing. You know, so it's time for you to just accept it. Okay, I'm quick-tempered. Okay, I'm gonna work on myself. What do I do? Okay, when I'm talking to Nana, I don't have to be pissed. I have to take it in this way. So it's you assessing yourself, accepting yourself, then working yourself out.
That is lack of patience.
Yeah.
Like a patient.
And trust me, it's a process. It's not just like a one-time thing that's gonna clear everything off. You have to actually work it out.
They're so jumpy.
Yeah.
So jumpy. As soon as something happened, they're ready to go.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm like we're saying, a way to break the cycle, like Nana said, is therapy. Not just, I mean, I know our parents.
You're the only one staying on top again.
Our parents don't agree with therapy. You know, they just don't see it. They don't see the
money to
you know. And I feel like, okay, maybe you don't want to pay to go see somebody, but you can talk to your friends. I feel like our parents also don't understand. Like, I know my parents are very like, don't have too many friends, you know, like they don't really confide a lot into like people, you know, they don't really confide a lot into people because they don't see the point. But like a great way for somebody else to have an outlook into your situation is by talking about it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you don't recognize it until you speak about it, and then your friend is like, girl, you know your mama do that too. You know what I mean? Like, and then you sit down and try and do that self-reflection. Like, okay.
And you grew up, your parents telling you, don't tell nobody.
You know, don't tell nobody. Don't be too close with this person. Don't be too close with that person. But then you're like, okay. Then it kind of makes you uncomfortable when it comes to therapy because you're so used to just keeping things to yourself. You don't know how to share it to somebody else. So it's like, but like Nana said, therapy and just like speaking about it to somebody that you're close to. That's like great ways to, and self-reflection. It's like a great way to try and break the cycle.
And one thing too,
no, you're good.
Before you close that one, one thing too that we beside therapy, one thing that we don't really do, us as African kids, like take that time for ourselves.
I know,
bro. We become so selfless that we forget about the most important thing. Is the most important
ourselves,
thing is you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Regardless of what anybody say, you're the most important person to yourself. It start with you, and the other one is at the bottom of that.
You get so wrapped up in the grades and the good job that we have to come because of the opportunities in this country.
You become a people pleaser automatically right off the bat.
In relation to having many friends, or more best said now for being tina cotton tea.
Yeah, like just crazy myths. Like don't have friends.
Say that in English.
Like, how do you say that in English? That's like a proverb.
Due to many friends, the crab doesn't have a head.
Yeah, the crab doesn't have a head because he has too many friends. I don't know, something
like you don't even make sense.
And they have a story to it. When you listen,
every single thing they have a story.
Yes, when you listen to the story, it makes sense, but it's like big quantas,
bro. So let's talk about the importance of self-compassion and forgiveness during this time where you're trying to heal yourself to try and break this generational trauma.
One thing that I know is like you can't move on and having the past behind you. Like having the past right at your back as a backpack. You have to leave it behind and you have to move, you know?
Yeah.
So if you figure something out that, hey, this is really bad, or my dad did this to me and it made me grow up this way, then actually you have to actually forgive him and work on yourself.
Yeah.
But if you try to hold that, there's no way you can actually work on yourself.
Yeah, people have hoarding disorders, man.
Yeah, because you have the pain in you, you have the hurt, you have
hoarding,
you have everything in you, and it's gonna be hard for you to grow. You have to forgive, let it go, then move on. You have to move past everything that is what we call growth.
All that baggage away.
Yeah, that is what we call growth. If not, bro.
And for that,
and learn how to forgive. I've never heard my dad forgive nobody.
No, that's crazy.
Right? So you kind of have to be like, okay, maybe I need to start.
Most they would tell you it's okay. It's fine.
Do you want McDonald's? Do you want McDonald's?
Never heard that in my life.
Bro, they'll beat you so bad and tell you, have you eaten? You know what I mean?
That's their way of I'm sorry.
Where's my sorry, bro?
So
where's the love?
Yeah, like forgiving yourself and trying to forgive your parents as well, because it's hard to move forward when you have this grudge and this grudge of like, oh, they gave me this trauma. I don't know how to move on with this trauma. But you literally have to forgive yourself and try to forgive them before you can move on. I mean, you can also have to try and have a conversation with them, which is like impossible, I know, to do. But
and one tragic moment that happened mostly in Africa is, most of the parents, they don't raise their own kids. They give them to somebody else. Like, let's say your mom and your dad.
I don't think it's more like giving them to somebody else. I think they just
like, they don't have the
really believe in the concept of family. Like your auntie should be your mother.
So you, the mother, you can be a very good person. The father can be a very good person.
But your auntie over there has her generational trauma that she's teaching you.
She's gonna be the one to raise your daughter or your son. So they will end up being like him or her. You know? So it's like, I think it's something that we also have to work on and know who we're leaving our kids to. So if you are here in the US and you have you've given birth and you want to take them back to Africa, you have to know who you're going to give your kids to, because they'll grow up and whatever that they know is going to be what they taught them. So you have to be careful with that too as well.
To add on to that, what you said, bro, I just feel as if stay with your kids, man.
Stay with your kids, for real.
Stay with your kids.
If you have the opportunity, some people don't have it.
Facts. Stay with your kids and try to be there for them as much as you can.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because a lot of us sometimes we didn't really get that that personal relationship with our family or our parent. You know what I mean?
Get it from somebody else.
You know what I mean? And it's like, how did you grow up? I grew up with my grandma. My grandma is not your mom. So where was your mom? I grew up with my grandpa. Where's your dad? You know what I'm saying? And you don't have that personal relationship with said parent. And that create a lack. I'm just going to say it. Sorry. Girls.
Daddy issues.
Daddy issues.
You were going.
You understand what I'm saying? Come with daddy issues. And because that male was not present, so you kind of, it's either someone become totally reliant on their partner or they become overly excessive with their partner. You understand what I mean? You have to do this because I don't want to lose you. Like I lost my dad. Or, well, fuck you anyway. Because my dad was not there.
My dad was not there for you.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but back to what you were saying, right? I'm over here thinking that my mother's generation is too old to understand my generation. So I'm here thinking about, what if I was raised by my grandmother?
Yeah, exactly.
If my mother doesn't match my generation, my grandmother, how am I going to behave? Like, so all these are the things that we have to factor, we have to make sure that we know the consequences of leaving our kids to other family relatives or something.
And taking the step definitely has such a positive impact on the next generation. I mean, like I said, I feel like my mom did the work and I see manifesting through my life. So just know that doing the work now is going to make a positive impact on the next generation, so it is important to do this work now, not just like for your future kids, people, you might not plan to have kids, but like to your cousin, your little nieces and nephews that you're going to be around, and your friends, maybe, their mothers seeing you heal, probably help them heal as well. So we're gonna go around. Any last words that anybody want to say before we close out? Go ahead.
I've never had to experience it, but I've always heard like the concept of behave wherever you're doing or else we'll send you back to Africa. Y'all heard that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That is what an Akwadjo is still behaving.
That's just a little threat just to keep you online.
No, if you do not.
Fear. They're trying to put fear in you to manipulate you. To let you do that. Not manipulate, but to do the right thing. Yeah. So it's fear. That is how African that is how they raise us.
That's basically how discipline is. Just to put fear in you.
Yeah, fear.
To them it's normal.
The whole idea of it
is not fear. The whole